I've been a beekeeper for 8 years now, and my first few years I experienced a really horrible ant infestation. And I found a solution that works 100% of the time, and is elegant, it's effective, it's expandable, and it's affordable. And so I made this video so that I could share this simplistic design with you. So now let me preview the whole setup and the features and benefits of it. Now, it's a simple foundation that can support multiple hives. This design here can handle up to 5 hives, but you only need one set of foundation shoes, cement shoes they call them. You only need one set of them to set this up. There's no maintenance required. Other than keeping weeds and flying debris from landing on the beams, and get rid of them, and you won't have any ants. I haven't replaced the oil in here in the last 4 years, and it's still working and eliminating ants. It provides also ample work surface. You can fit, as I said, in this design up to 5 hives, and I typically put the first 2 over the foundations. That just further protects it from the weather. And then you also space it accordingly so that you can fit a frame in between, and that way you don't need a frame holder on your hive. I've also put together a toolbox that also fits in between. It slides wherever you need it, and it's strong enough to use as a step and reach those up honey supers that you have to get to sometimes. Let's go on to the next step. What I'll do is I'll show a segment on the materials, exactly what they are and the sizes, so that you can build it, and then I'll follow that with a segment of us installing it in the field. So let's go. Okay, now I'm going to introduce the parts that you'll need for a single footing. You'll start with a cinder block, 2 pieces of 1 5/8 inch diameter PVC cut at 7.5 inches. You'll need to get 2 reducers, a 2 inch by 3 inch reducer, and you'll also have 2 10 inch anchor bolts, and those will be attached to a 25 inch pressure treated 2x4 that had 2 5/8 inch holes drilled in them, spaced by 10 inches. And the way they'll be put together, which will show the finished product in the next scene, but you'll be filling the cinder block with cement as well as a PVC pipe. You'll slide the anchor bolt through it, and then attach the anchor bolts to the 2x4 through the 10 inch separated holes. And once that top board will be separated by a 2x6, just to get the correct spacing. And after that's completed and the cement dries, you'll be inserting the reducers facing upward, and that will be your trough for your motor oil that you'll put in as the moat. And we'll be showing the finished product in the next scene. This is just, the purpose of this scene was just to introduce you with the components for the base. Here's the finished product. There's concrete's been poured, and the PVC and the anchor are in place and being held by this frame of wood, which is spaced at exactly 10 inches. And once the cement dries, I'll take off the frames, temporary frames, and install the 2 to 3 inch reducers. And then we'll be ready to be filled with oil. Okay, so here's the finished product that we, after we put the cement in. The only difference from my original instructions is I had these leftover 2-inch PVC, which I just use as spacers underneath. What you can do is put a stick under there, a small piece of wood, probably anywhere from an inch, just an inch or a half inch, whatever's pleasure, because you just need enough room to pour oil in between the board and the coupling. So then what I did is, you can see here, hopefully clearly, the caulking was put in between the seams of the 2-inch coupling and the 1 1/4 inch pipe, PVC pipe, and that will hold about a cup of fluid, moat oil. In this case I'm just going to put water in, and I put in half a cup, and just to ensure it doesn't leak. I tested these already and they don't. The silicone, this item here, this coupling really doesn't move or has any pressure put on it, so it will last for that silicone bead you put in will definitely hold and stay. I've gone 4 years now with mine without any leaks. So then the next thing I did was I put on just little umbrellas, I guess you call it, just to cover the gap from rain. And these are just takeout container covers with a hole drilled in the middle. And then we put on the board, and then the nuts and washers, and once those are tightened down, we're ready to go. And once these are in the ground, we'll show that in the next scene of us installing it out in the field, out in the bee field. And I'll see you then. Alright, that what you see here is the finished product. Notice the footing closest to me is completely underground. The cement block is completely in the ground. The other cinder block footing is a little bit up because of the ground isn't level, and then I'll fill in that more with the soil. I also recommend putting some landscaping cloth down around the base so that grasses don't grow up high enough that they'll touch one of the beams and the ants will find the hive by climbing up those branches. If you notice, I'll get closer here, you can see the amber color of the oil inside the cup reducers, and I put on that little sort of cover umbrella on top, and this should be good for a couple years. I also, important to space it enough that we could fit a frame. That's why we cut those boards, those cross boards, 25 inches, and prior to screwing those 4x4s on, you want to make sure that you've got it spaced correctly. The hive can pretty much slide anywhere you want it. This particular base is for 2 hives, and if they want to increase more, they could always add an 8-footer or a 10-foot 4x4. The base doesn't have to change. And that's pretty much the finished product.